What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go into a PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to take you through the webinar and the different parts of the course, through the PowerPoint. So I'm going to share my screen. So I will disappear from a screen, and it's going to be replaced with a PowerPoint presentation I'm going to go through. So I'll see you on the other side. I'll come back to you on the other side of this. I'm going to guide you through this, but now we're going to switch to the PowerPoint. NLP and the Sun, Sesimbra, 2018. So what we're going to cover on this webinar, I'm going to cover Sesimbra, the region, a little bit about the area, the transportation and accommodation options. I'm going to cover the course structure, which comes in 3 modules. Module 1, which is Love Public Speaking, Advanced Presentation Skills. Module 2, which is Skills for NLP Trainers. And then Module 3, Trainers Training Evaluation. And then I'm going to go through the logistics, which is course documentation, certificates, balance payments, the language choice, which can be English, Spanish, or Portuguese, criteria for the exam, copies of your certificates if you've not yet sent them, your steps after the course, and then the ITA, which is the organisation set up by John Grinder, Carmen Bostic-Sinclair, and myself. So that's the agenda. We're probably going to run more than a scheduled 40 minutes. We did last night. So we can run a little bit further than that, just to see how that time goes. So let me tell you a little bit about Sesimbra and what to expect. So Sesimbra is situated about 40 minutes from Lisbon International Airport. And what we have, and I'm going to go into this, we've arranged an exclusive transport offer for you, our course attendees, which I'll cover later in this webinar. We've hired a driver, or we've accessed a driver for you to hire, I should say. And it's about 40 euros to get down to Sesimbra, which is normally 85, so it's a nice discount. And a lot of people share the taxi journey, and you can interact, of course, with each other in the Facebook group. So, Lisbon's the airport. Some people have actually chose to flow into Madrid or even airports in other countries nearby just to enjoy, a drive across Europe or part of Europe. It's a nice time of year to visit Europe. So that's me coming out of the airport, as you can see, last year. And I was as happy, as you can see there, to be arriving in Sesimbra as I will be as happy this year to arrive in Sesimbra. So the hotel in Sesimbra is a Sesimbra Spa, a hotel and spa. That view is from the balcony, the view on the left picture up there of a room that I was staying in, actually. So, that's the view. It's gorgeous. As you can see, it's right on the ocean front. It's a modern hotel, and we have some special offers, negotiated special offers at the hotel for you. And there's also, we've got a business associate there who can support you with other accommodation as well if you want to rent apartments. And I'll go into that later on here in this webinar. So that's a hotel. It's a lovely place. It really is, as I say, right on the seafront. A great time of year to visit, May. The temperature's usually about 24, 25 degrees down there at that time of year. So it's nice, in the daytime, a bit cool in the evening, but it's ideal for learning because it's not too hot, but you can still enjoy all the benefits, of warm weather at the beginnings of the season. It's not too crowded there either, so it's just very good for a learning experience. So Sesimbra, the town, as you can see, it's a small place. Was originally a fishing village, and now it's developed more into a tourist place. It's not too commercial, so you're not got the massive, commercialism, but it's often associated with a seaside resort. It is quite upmarket, so it's quite enjoyable down there. And as you can see, it's just a very, very pleasant place. Lots of great food, good activities. In the distance there, you can see the national park, which is on that hill there, which has got mountain climbing, great mountain climbing, just rivers. So a lot of nature. So if you are interested in sort of nature, that's a great opportunity. A lot of people, take a vacation or holiday associated with their course. Because believe me, trainers training will be very busy, you know, so you're going to be mainly focused on the studies, you know, but after that, many people sort of take a break, you know, hang out for a few days or a week even, or even bring their families down, you know, just to enjoy the beauty of this resort. I mentioned May there earlier. Obviously, that's our first course that starts in May. You're going to be down there in June. The weather's going to be a bit warmer. It does get warmer in June. So you're looking at now going up into the 30s, early 30s. In fact, last year, you know, just actually it's quite strange. It's almost by switch that the temperature just increases dramatically in early June. So expect the temperature to be early 30s. It went up to 37 actually last year. You know, I was talking about mid-May there when I said 24, 25. In June, it's a lot warmer. You know, so, you know, prepare for that. So yeah, great food restaurants down here. It's, you know, the fish. We like seafood and fish. It's out of this world. Very fresh, caught that day. You know, so again, it's a beautiful place for good, healthy food as well as a good, healthy learning. The beach is just right. Excuse me. The beach is just a few minutes from the hotel. So in the morning, people often go down for you know, meditation, Tai Chi sometimes, yoga. In the evening, they might do some activities. Some people, you know, last year they brought their guitars. They went down there, you know, sang a few songs, and you know, had a nice group bonding experience. So the beach is very close. The pool, the hotel has got a pool and it's full spa facilities and gym as well. You know, so you've got an opportunity to, you know, keep fit. You know, whilst you're intensely challenging your mind, which you will be. So the course comes in 3 modules, and there's the dates. Module 1's Love Public Speaking, Advanced Presentation Skills of NLP. Module 2 is Skills for NLP Trainers. And then Module 3, I'm going to go into each of these modules now. So I'm going to break down, I'm going to give you a little tour, if you like, of each module. So as I go through this. So module 1, Love Public Speaking. Now, this is, some people are going to be attending the Love Public Speaking as a standalone presentation, as a standalone course. It's a 6-day program, and the intention here of this 6-day program is for you to develop your style and skills as a public speaker. You know, so, you know, the first module really, as I say, people who are attending this module as a standalone basis, you know, you could be presenting stocks and shares, dog walking, flower arranging. The topics that are irrelevant is the process of how you present those topics that really is key here for you. This is what we're going to teach you, how to develop your style as a public speaker. And I mean your style. You know, so we don't want to turn you into an automaton, you know, where you follow a rule book precisely of, you know, how to be, you know, according to the book. We want you to develop and unleash your personality and all that is innate and natural within you, so the audience can really, really appreciate you as a human being. So as I say, it's all about being you. So you're going to model others, you know, to develop and bring out the essence in you. How to use verbal and non-verbal communication to captivate your audience's attention. You know, so that's how you use your body language, your tonality, metaphors, hypnotic style communication, and all those other great things to interact with your audience and how to capture their attention and really connect with them. How to deliver your message clearly and precisely with accuracy. How to get something across in such a way that it connects with your audience. State choice. You know, a lot of people have fear around public speaking. How to develop your state choice. We use in New Code NLP the term state choice rather than state control, and I'll come to that later. But how to develop state choice and build self-awareness for charismatic public speaking. How to use rapport, how to engage groups. So you've learned how to use rapport at your NLP course, practitioner, but how to gain groups, rapport with groups. How to facilitate and process learning, you know, different facilitation processes. Utilization, that's, you know, how to handle audience interaction, including heckling, and the effective use of physiology and tonality to create charisma. So that's module 1. Now, again, what we want to teach you in module 1 is really how to develop, as I say, yourself as a public speaker. On top of that list, you're going to learn how to use metaphors and stage anchoring, how to anchor states to the audience. And at the end of this module, at the end of 6 days, you're going to design and deliver a 35-minute presentation using the Grinder 8-step format, which you're going to learn on the course. So the Grinder 8-step format is a process that John Grinder developed when he first started to teach the others how to teach NLP. So John was already a professor, in the early days of NLP. He was in his early 30s when the NLP adventure began. Frank Puslik was in his late 20s. Richard Bandler was in his early 20s, a young student. And Robert Dilts and Crew and Gilligan were all in their late teens. So John was the leader of this group in many ways, not just by age, but by experience. And he had already had a lot of experience of setting up unconscious learning processes. So you're going to learn the Grinder 8-step format, which Grinder brought into NLP to teach NLP. So we're going to use the original model, and I do think it's important, that we do share this original module, because NLP training in recent years has been kind of polluted with non-NLP style presentation formats, such as this thing called the format system, which actually doesn't really mirror NLP. So you're going to go into the original model of modeling and teaching NLP, the Grinder 8 steps. So I say it's a great week. This is 6 exciting days where you are going to be really practicing a lot your presentation skills as to how you can connect, and facilitate, really cool learnings for people and really engage your audience. And the ultimate sort of integration opportunity is for you to deliver this 35-minute presentation to demonstrate how much you have learned and how much you've integrated. That's module 1. So now we're going to module 2, skills for NLP trainers. Now, the people who go on to module 2 will be going on to module 3, of course, which is for the evaluation. And there are 2 options as to when you can do module 3. But module 2 is really paving the way of your teaching skills. Module 1 is on your presentation skills. There is a big difference in presenting and teaching, although there is an overlap. So to present is where you can stand up, and engage and connect with people. To teach is is much more in the structure of your sessions, your exercise design, your demonstration design, and your ability to do demonstrations and then debrief after. So, we look at the different ways in which you can teach NLP. So module 2 is about how to design and deliver NLP presentations to multiple audiences. Multiple audiences will be all the different groups that you will interact with as a trainer of NLP. So that could be your introduction group, where you send introductory sessions, diploma groups, practitioner groups, business groups, personal development groups, and so on. So, whilst the principal design will be the same, there will be variables within it, as well as the delivery, and how you structure those presentations. So there's different course structure styles, inductive, deductive styles, for example. Different ways you can use an 8-step presentation. Context of discovery style, framing, the lack of framing, it depends on who you're teaching, business sessions, pure discovery. So there's a lot of different ways you can teach NLP. And our funny thing is, a lot of people who are in NLP, quite a high level, haven't been trained in the different structural styles of teaching. So I want to share with you, really how to, get into different, as I say, structure and designs. Verbal interactions, which will be many, how to answer questions, for example, how to use metaphor within a metaphor, how to use the audience's metaphor, have a metaphor that's present, active metaphor, living metaphor. All of these will come in verbal interactions, as I say, understanding difficult questions. Sometimes people have got a question just for the sake of the question, interpreting the higher logical level answer. So how can you answer a question at a higher logical level so that you don't only answer the question, you answer multiple questions at the same time, but a student may not even realize his or her question has been answered. So these verbal interactions are key to mastering training skills. Stage anchoring, we're going to develop this further, and tonal anchoring for state elicitation, and state stabilization. So a lot of people think about anchoring as a trigger, Not necessarily, you know, it does trigger a state, but the anchor's job is to hold stable the state. You know, triggering is not sufficient. So anchoring stabilizes a key portion of experience, and the anchor holds it in place. So it's like, once that state's triggered, holding that state in space for longer, or holding that state by using space, space on the stage, that is, rather than NASA style space, sufficiently long enough, you know, for your intention of anchoring the state. Demonstrations is, I think, a key aspect of teaching. So I'm going to show you how to do NLP demonstrations on all the patterns, you know, and then the exercise design. We don't want you just to learn how to, you know, use someone else's exercise that you did on your practitioner, that someone did on their other practitioner. You know, it says hand me down, and, you know, sometimes when you don't understand the intention of each step, we want you to be able to design your own exercises. You know, so you are original. I'm looking for originality in our trainers, you know, rather than just, you know, people who do hand-me-down trainings. This is a big one for John Grinder, distinction between content and process. You know, this is John's, one of his major things he majorly insists upon. People around me are smiling here. In this room, you know, at John's insistence, you know, people are clean between content and process. And if he sees anything otherwise, you know, how enthusiastic he is in sharing his opinion on content and process. And how to present under challenging circumstances. You could argue the whole 2 weeks is challenging, but we want to ensure that when you go out to the group, you are prepared. So when you go out to the real world, we have prepared you for all the eventualities. You know, so we're going to test you on that as well, on presenting under challenging circumstances. So that's module 2. Now, at the end of module 2, I'm just going to go on hold for a moment. Okay, can you, so I'm just going to go on hold now for a moment. Let's come back now. So what I'd like to do now is to just summarize that, how to design and deliver NLP presentations, course structure, styles and course design, verbal interactions to deliver the learned experience, the stage anchoring and tonal anchoring, the skill behind artful NLP demonstrations, exercise design and setup to create practical learning experiences, the distinctions between content and process, and how to present under challenging circumstances. Now, at the end of module 2, what you're going to do is we're going to deliver a 35-minute presentation. You will deliver, a 35-minute presentation, again, using all these skills that you have learned here in this module 2. So, you know, we want to ensure that you've got these skills. You're going to be so much further down the line, you know, when you were just 7 days previously. You know, so you're going to have integrated all your public speaking skills, and you're going to then integrate all your module 2 skills, which is your training skills. So you've got 2 weeks of us now, and then you're going to be ready to go on to the evaluation. Now, I'll just tell you the structure of the course. John Carroll and I teach a third of this course each. So in module 1, I teach the first 2 days, then John Carroll will come in, teach the second 4 days. In module 2, I teach the first day, John and Carmen come in the first day rather than the Thursday, the first day, and then John and Carmen come in and teach the next 4 days, then I do the last 2. Remember what you're going to do at the end of that, you do a 35-minute presentation, and from there we have a day off, and then it's time for the evaluation. So now we're going to go on to the next slide, the evaluation. So during the 4-day evaluation, we've got some different exercises for you. So number 1 is you're going to complete an extensive closed book. You've got 2 written tests on core NLP patterning. And that core NLP patterning is all classic code NLP. There are bonus marks included for new code NLP. You know, so the exam is very fairly written. Some people have got more experience in new code NLP, and then others have got more experience in classic. So it's a very fair exam. If you're experienced in both, you're going to fly high. I'm going to tell you what to study later. So it's two tests. Each paper is 2.5 hours long, or you have 2.5 hours to sit the exam. You can sit it in English, Spanish or Portuguese. And if you are non-native to those languages, if you do, so you've got 3 hours with the exam as well. And if you're non-native, you're allowed to bring in a paper, a proper official language dictionary, and that's all you're allowed to bring in. You're going to design and deliver a 35-minute presentation to a small audience, of 6 people. So you're going to have time to do that on any NLP topic. It's a similar exercise as what you did on the first module and the second module. Obviously, this time you are being assessed using an 8-step Grinder format. You're going to conduct an NLP demonstration. Now, that's where you are not going to have any prior warning. We'll come into a room, and then I will give each person a demonstration, and they're just, before they do it, they're just going to get up and do it. So it could be anchoring, submodalities, phobia. You're going to get up and do the demonstration, pick a demonstration subject, maybe the subject a person, and then just conduct the demonstration. We will cover this a lot on the course as well. And then you're going to present under a series of challenging circumstances that we choose. Now, everybody's got a blind spot when it comes to trainers training. Some people might be very good with a certain type of style course or a certain group of people. So what we do, we want to help you, fill in your blind spot really, and fill in any sort of areas where you're vulnerable, so that when you get out there, you are fully prepared for the program. You are fully prepared, not for the program, for how you're going to deliver your courses. So that's it. You've got two written tests: a presentation, a demonstration, and then how to present under a series of challenging circumstances, and that's the evaluation. So you're going to prepare well. It's an intense course. Most people tell me this is the most challenging and fun NLP experience they've ever attended or ever had. So at the end of each module, as I say, you're going to do you're going to present a 35-minute presentation. I've covered that already. So here's the exam criteria. That's the paper test down below as well. When you take the paper test, 70%, 75% is a low pass, 76 and 90 is a pass, 91 and is a high pass. Now you may be curious about, they're quite high, those grades. So you might be curious about why they're so high. Now what it is, you actually can get up to 128% because we've got bonus marks in the paper as well. So, don't panic too much, but do study and study hard, And then when you section 2, you can design and deliver a 35-minute presentation using the format you learned at the course. And then you're going to be graded over a retake, low pass, pass, or high pass. Hopefully you're going for a high pass. And then you're going to conduct an NLP demonstration that's chosen for you by the certifier, retake, low pass, pass, or high pass. And then, as I say, the evaluation you're going to present under challenging circumstances. So standards are high. If you do not pass one part of the course, you'll be invited back to demonstrate competency in that area. If you're a low pass in 2 areas of the evaluation, you'll also be invited back to demonstrate competency. And the reevaluation takes place in October. But, or what a lot of people do, and it's actually very sensible, is that if you go to Portugal, which you are, for June, and do modules 1 and 2, and then a lot of people defer the module 3 until October because it gives them time to integrate everything you've learned, And what I've noticed is people who go home, they've got time to practice everything, it integrates them, it gives them an opportunity to integrate the skills they've learned, and time to practice. So that's the criteria. Now to prepare. Here's the content to prepare. Outcomes, calibration, accessing cues, epistemology, representational systems, anchoring formats, submodality interventions, swish patterns, map across, phobia cure, unconscious signals, 6-step reframe, parts interventions, Milton model, meta model, presuppositions, not presuppositions of NLP, linguistic presuppositions, belief change formats, distinction between process and content, metaphor construction, timeline interventions, and new code NLP, if you're trained in new code NLP, alphabet game, NASA game, breath of life, rhythm of life, Croydon ball game, intention consequence, all those new code NLP games and processes. You know, really make sure you know your involuntary signals and 6-step reframe patterns and the variations of as well. So that's what I suggest you study. And there is a couple of ways to prepare for that. We have got a study set, NLPpedia study set. It says it down the. So it says that at the bottom, NLPpedia practitioner. I've got a complete NLPpedia study set. It's a complete NLP practitioner online. It was filmed quite a long time ago, but the content's still relevant. It's all classic code. What there is on that, there is 28 hours of live video, a full transcript, and about 700 PowerPoint slides. So, you know, if you are not too sure of your practitioner content or you want a way of revising, there's a special price of £299 for you. And people who get this and study it really does help them, because you can bring it to Sesimbra, you got it there, you know, and it can really help you connect back with all of that content, you know, that is above. You know, it's usually $499, so we just want to make it easy for you to learn, you know, to get all the content to the forefront of your brain. So here's some logistics. We're going to send you a pre-course questionnaire, you know, which is you're going to complete, and then it tells a little bit about where you've studied NLP so far, your outcomes for learning NLP, for becoming a trainer, you know, all your goals, the area of application. So we know, you know, the sort of population and how that population is split within the room, which helps John Carroll and me teach the courses. So we're going to send it out to you on Thursday. If you get it back to us early next week. The course is taught in English and American English. So there is a difference. The English I'm speaking is London. I'm from England, of Irish origins. And John and Carmen speak American English, which is very different. You know, that's the one you hear probably in the movies. But the courses are delivered in English. There is a Spanish translation simultaneously, which is available through headset, and Portuguese as well. So we need to know, you know, we're going to, in this pre-course questionnaire, your language choices there. And there will also be possibly an Italian translation. We're just talking to our Italian friends to see how many are coming and to sort out that translation. Now, if you have not studied with the NLP Academy, we need to know you are a practitioner and master. So you need to send us your practitioner and master practitioner certificates. And then if you've paid a deposit, you know, to secure that price that you locked yourself in at, the NLP deposits for the trainers training and Love Public Speaking are due 5 weeks before, which is the 27th of April. So please make sure you get that money transferred over so you can preserve those early booking prices. Now, again, you know, as I say, we are in Sesimbra for 6 weeks, actually. So these 3 weeks with you at Trainers Training is one part of it. We also run an international coaching certification with New Code NLP, and that's the week before Trainers Training, 20th to 27th of May. And I actually put this photo reading course on 28th to 29th of May, especially for the trainers in mind, to help you have a strategy to read and revise. The International Coaching Certification is module 2 of our practitioner. Module 1 is core skills. And both of these courses will really help you, if you have the time, you know, given that you are in Sesimbra, to prepare for the course, Trainers Training, and add to the experience that you are going there for. So the International Coaching course, just to give you a little insight as to what we cover, we're going to cover a new code change format, new code NLP processes for change, 3-stage coaching protocol, non-linear coaching formats, non-verbal and provocative coaching, metaphors, congruency testing, pattern detection, intention, and hidden intention. So if you've not yet studied new code NLP and would like to, there's a good opportunity. There are some special prices, and it will be good. It will help you prepare, especially with your state, because, you know, new code NLP is about high performance states. You know, so the full investment for that there is £2,638. Sorry, £2,638. And then the NLP and the Sun offer is $12.99. So that's for you, a special offer if you'd like to come down to those 7 days, 8 days. And of course, you know, it adds another piece of credibility to your NLP CV, because this is a coaching course taught by John Grinder, Carmen Bossick-Sinclair, and myself. So it gives you that extra piece of credibility and extra skill set as well. Now, photo reading is about an ability to help you triple your reading speed and more. Now, I use this, you know, when I sat my exams in the financial services industry 20 years ago, and my children have used this when they've sat their degree exams. And, you know, anyone who has a lot of information to read and remember, photo reading is just perfect. It's not good, it's perfect. You know, and it's perfect for anybody who has that intense written exam at the end of the trainer's training. You know, so an excellent way to revise, and you can actually use these 2 days to revise. You know, so you actually are going, before you start trainer's training, you're beginning the course having done a key part of your revision. Anyone who's going on these 2 days, you increase your chances of passing significantly. You take them to a completely different level. So I'd highly recommend photo reading and that course. If you have that time, photo reading, I'd say get on it. You know, it's going to help. It's going to make your life so much easier. Sometimes you can just invest 2 days of your time and a relatively small amount of money could revolutionize your experience there at Trainers Training. So what can you do after the course? John Carmen and I have an organization. It's called the International Trainers Academy, and all trainers who have passed the course are eligible to join. You know, and there are different levels. So you're going to join as a certified member. There are new code NLP trainers, and now we're just issuing a new system of master practitioner trainers as well, people who can teach our master practitioner trainings. When you join the ITA, you can issue certificates signed by John Grinder, Carmen Bossick-Sinclair, and myself. You know, all your courses can go on our website. You know, your name goes on our website as a person who is certified by us. So you've got a lot of opportunity there, and you have a lot of influence in the market by becoming an ITA trainer. You know, and all people who have passed our course are eligible, to join that organisation. And then next year you can become a new code NLP trainer once you've mastered classic code training. There's a copy of a certificate that we send out to you. So as you can see, you've got your company name logo, your student's name. You have a colleague to sign, another ITA trainer, who you usually meet on the course. Trainer signature, then you see our signatures there at the bottom. You know, so this is a great business opportunity and an opportunity, for you to go into your market, place in NLP, and offer something very different. Accommodation. So on our website, you will see, obviously we've got the hotel, we've got some special offers on the hotel. And also we got a contact in Sesimbra, who has got access to a lot of apartments. You know, I'm there for 6 weeks. Last year I stayed in a hotel. I travel a lot, I like hotels for a couple of days, but I like to feel like I'm a bit at home. So I'm going to take an apartment this year, so I can cook and just enjoy privacy, but, just to go somewhere a little bit different. But the hotel itself is very good. And we've got apartments, and also the transportation. We've got a driver there who will drive you down and his details, Bruno is his name. His details are on our website. I think it's 35 or 40 euros, so it's a good deal, and then you can agree to share. Obviously, there will be evening sessions as well on the course. The mentors will run evening sessions. There's practice groups in the evening. Just because you're going to practice. This is an intense course, we want to make sure you walk away at the best you can. Now, obviously, it hasn't got to be work, but I wouldn't be scheduling too many social activities in the evenings. You will obviously have social activities with your course colleagues, but you're going to get the best out of this course, but the more you put into it. There is a couple of days off for you to enjoy, and then afterwards you can enjoy the area, but it is intense. So I'm having this webinar to make sure that and have a good understanding as to what to expect. Okay. Well, that's not relevant, Gonzalo, until you pass this. So the question is there any written information on how we can train people in the new code NLP, coaching or master practitioner? These are by application only. So once people have become trainers, classic code, then that door opens on how to become new code. So we have got a new code trainers training running in Sesimbra prior to you coming. And of course, this is only for people who have come through our trainers training. So, you know, this is, once you've gone through that gate, that door opens, you know, so, and the next door that opens there will be next year, in Italy, when we run our next new code trainers training. It's a great opportunity. It's different from trainers training, and we will tell you all about that when you get down to Portugal and have gone through this. What I don't want to do is fill people's minds up too much with stuff that's not quite relevant yet. Just focus, you know, on this course, fly high, you know, and then we'll get you through and up to new code and master practitioner. To be able to teach master practitioner, I'll just say you have to taught 5 practitioner courses. I forgot I was on camera there, itching my ear. Excuse me. You have to taught 5 practitioner courses, you know, and you have to be assessed by us. The new code and master practitioner is very different. You know, it's where we, you know, you come to us and say, can you do it? We look at what you've done. We look at where you are, you know, and we assess whether you're ready. So it's a little bit different. That it's much more personal, done by an interview rather than anything that we can send to you in writing. Okay, any other questions? Has this been useful? Okay, yes, good. So I'm going to, good, thanks Chris. So if there is a Facebook group, I think most of you have been invited to that. I will make this video available to you, so you've got it as another reference. Hopefully we can catch up again by webinar before the course. You know, I'll maybe connect with you when I'm in Sesimbra. I go on the 15th of May. So I can connect with you. I might even better connect with you from one of the courses there so that you can see what we're doing, you know, and how we operate and so on. In the meantime, my team here are dedicated in every way we can to make this experience special for you. You know, so if you've got any questions, you can ask them in the Facebook group, or anything that's a little bit more personal, you can call here. Please study hard. You know, there is a direct correlation with the people who study hard, you know, who get the best out of this course. You know, this is probably the most challenging trainers training course in the world. You know, and I'm not going to apologize for that. You know, when I put this course together with John and Carmen, you know, back in 2005, you know, I was keen to work with John on trainers training to ensure we have a high standard. You know, we don't want trainers out there who have not got that high standard. So this is a high standard course. We are about quality. And we don't want to share with you for you to be about quality. The ITA is about quality. You know, the NLP Academy is here to support you to be the very best trainer that you can. So now what I'm going to do, if there isn't any further questions, you know, I'm going to sign off. I'll say good evening to you from London. It might be morning wherever you are, or lunchtime, or it could be even night time. I'm also, if you celebrate Easter, I'm going to wish you a very peaceful Easter, an enjoyable Easter. And if you don't celebrate Easter, I'm going to issue you a very peaceful and enjoyable period over the weekend coming ahead, and also all the weekends ahead. So wherever you are, you know, in this world, I'd like to thank you for tuning in for this. I'm looking forward to working with you in Sesimbra. You know, as I say, you know, study hard, you know, so you can get the very, very best of the course. So I'd like to say now, thank you very much for tuning in to this webinar. Thank you and good evening.